and brought comfort into a place of darkness. The legacy they left behind testifies to the power of a single individual. As we honor Rachel's third birthday, let us celebrate her namesakes. The first, Rachel, our matriarch, wife of Jacob. Then, Rachel, wife and inspiration of the Torah luminary Rabbi Akiva. And finally, Rachel Baritana, my great-grandmother, who Rachel is named after. Rachel Imenu stands apart from the other three matriarchs, Sarah, Rebecca, and Leah. They are all buried in the cave of Machpelah, alongside our patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Rachel, however, lies alone on the side of the road near Bethlehem. As Jacob and his entire family traveled to Israel, Rachel gave birth to Benjamin and died during childbirth. As Jacob's most beloved wife, he would have carried Rachel to the cave of Machpelah, but God said, "Let her be buried here." As her children are being led into exile, she will be a source of inspiration and comfort. Mount Rachel will not rest while her children suffer. 1,000 years later, the land of Israel was devastated by invasion, and the refugees of the war were carried off into captivity. Up in heaven there were tears. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Leah were all pleading that God send an end to the Jewish people's suffering. God did not listen. But then, a sweet voice is heard on high, bitter weeping. It's Rachel crying for her children, who are walking by her grave, and she refuses to be comforted. God remembers Rachel's self-sacrifice, and God says to Rachel, "Hold your voice back from crying. Your children will return to their homeland. Mount Rachel will not rest while her children suffer." This is what Rachel passed on to her children, the legacy of hope. Never surrender to a bitter reality, but fight it until the end, and then beyond. Our next Rachel lived 1900 years ago. She was the wife of Rabbi Akiva, whose brilliant mind could uproot mountains and explain every single letter of the Torah. Akiva grew up ignorant of Judaism. At the age of 40, he was shepherding the flocks of a wealthy Jewish landowner when he met the beautiful Rachel, his boss's daughter, and one of the most sought-after maidens of Jerusalem. Her intuition told her that this man had the makings of something special. And despite her father's outrage, Akiva and Rachel were married with the condition that Akiva would devote himself to the study of Torah. Life as Akiva's wife was hard for Rachel. She was cut off from her family's fortune and labored day and night to make ends meet. "You are destined for greatness as a scholar," she said to her husband, and she sent him to the great Torah center of Israel, where he stayed, apart from his wife and young children, for 24 years. During those 24 years, Akiva became Rabbi Akiva, a fountain of wisdom, the source of the determination and vision of his wife Rachel. Today, every facet of Torah scholarship can be traced back to Rabbi Akiva and to the brave woman who underwent every hardship to turn her husband into the greatest sage of Israel. In 1908, in the Ukraine, our great-grandmother Rachel Baritana was born. She grew up in communist Russia, and the war tried to destroy opportunities of Jewish life, but in her home, Judaism flourished. In 1941, the Nazis invaded the Soviet Union. Her young husband, Mordechai Tzvi, was drafted into the army. And the last memory my grandmother has of her father is seeing him walk out of the gate and then turn around to wave goodbye with tears in his eyes. My great-grandmother was left alone with her 4 daughters, the oldest 8 and the youngest 1. With unbelievable faith in God and with extraordinary determination, she took care of her children, taught them about their Jewish heritage, and brought them to America where they could live as Jews. She was a small woman, but with a powerful spirit that refused to be cowed by harsh realities. When she passed away 3 years ago, less than a week before Rachel was born, she left behind an inspired legacy to her hundreds of grandchildren and great-grandchildren who are proud and educated Jews and leaders in their community. Rachel, look at the Rachel that you are named after. What will be your legacy?